All right, guys, what's going on, man? So, we're going to be talking about very specific stuff. Porn, once again. And basically, 5 reasons why you shouldn't mess with it at all. Just stay away from it. It's really just better for your life. Um, so, I had gotten a reply in one of my videos when I was literally talking about that stuff as one of the subtopics. And the thing that stuck out to me is that he literally was like, hey, man, that's all we got, and if you're ugly and you don't got a GF, man, you just gotta do what you gotta do, right? And I sympathize with him, man, because honestly, I'm ugly, bro. You know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, man. I still consume this stuff on every now and again, but it's just no good because the times I do consume it, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of meaning. You know, there's much better things that you can do with your time. But let me go ahead and reply to that first comment that I'm talking about. So not only is there better ways to spend your time and stuff, but if it's because you don't have a girlfriend, but you still want to see the female body, this is crazy, right? And what I mean by that is that that is legitimately, it's a privilege that we can see a female body for free in this day and age. The simple fact of the matter is back in the day when you know, prostitution was like pretty much the first job, and we understand that. But it wasn't free. So back in the day, you either had to actually work your way into a female's panties, or you had to just straight up pay for it. There was no free access to seeing, not even just seeing a woman's body. You understand? And then on top of it, to see a woman's body and not have to do anything in return, it's actually more of a bad thing than it is a good thing. The reason being is because now we feel like we don't have to work. Now, I don't mean just we, and as in whoever wants to watch the corn, right? Now we don't feel like we have to do anything to get what we want to see. But this is a pretty important thing too. This stuff can actually cause, what's the word I'm looking for? Erectile dysfunction. Like real talk, bro. Like for real. It can actually do that. And I'm just gonna say it, man. Back in the day, bro, I used to have that, and I didn't even know. I knew it, like I had a pretty embarrassing time when I had this. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I kind of pulled a 10 out of 10. I'll give her a 9, but really a 10. In my eyes, she was a 10. And just couldn't do what I needed to do, bro, because it just didn't feel like doing what it needed to do. My member did not care. He was like, I'll just wait till you watch a video. And at that point, I knew this was not the way, bro. So I'll just say it like this: it can cause erectile dysfunction, bro. But the good thing about it is that if you just leave that stuff alone, your stuff coming right back, bro. Stronger than ever. It's cool. You will literally it's so basically what I'm trying to say is the reason it can cause erectile dysfunction is simply because that um it's just so used to having everything handed to it, It's not used to actually having to engage in a real life event of sex. It's not used to actually do anything. It's literally just used to being touched and having all the work done for it. You know what I mean? And then the whole performance, like what's that stuff called? Stage fright? That's real. Because when you're watching a video, bro, that that's all you have to do. You have there's no such thing as stage fright. You just see everything and get everything handed to you. But seeing and feeling are two completely different things. Why do I say that? It's because literally, it might not even be stage fright. You might not even be nervous or scared. You could just not be used to a situation to where you have to work for it. You know what I'm saying? I had my embarrassing moment, bro. I didn't really understand having to work for it, having to touch the female, having to make her excited. The females kind of can get excited easier because, you know, it's just easy. I mean, I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. But what I'm trying to say is that their member doesn't have to get hard. They don't have a member to get hard. There is no, like, they have to get, you know, moist. I hate to say that. It sounds unnecessarily dirty to say it like that. But regardless, that's just what needs to happen for them. For you, you actually have to get into a state to where you can penetrate. And if you're not in that state, you will not have anything. Nothing will happen for you, and you'll just leave with an embarrassment. So, that being said, yes, that's the truth. So what I'm trying to say is that a man has to perform. And on top of that, actually to rewind just a little bit back to the comment once again, you know, if that's all you got, then actually use that time to allow yourself to prepare for the real deal. What do I mean by that? Literally conserve your energy. What kind of energy? I'm literally talking about the energy that is below your member. Literally allow that to just stay there and stockpile until the day comes to where you have a real life event with a female. That is something that you cannot regret. You cannot regret that. You cannot. I'm telling you, as a person who has genuinely gone through the regret of knowing the reason why I couldn't perform was because I watched too much porn. Because I was handed everything. I wasn't in any kind of state of bad health. I was not messed up. I didn't have any crazy disease. I just had everything handed to me in the lack of awareness and the lack of preparedness, quite literally. And at that point, when I found out that my stuff didn't care about what I was thinking, like my member wasn't trying to perform, that was a realization to where, and I knew it, dude. I knew it for a fact because there was even times where, you know, I would watch the porn too much, you know, like 2 times in one day. And the second time I'd have to, you know, kind of give myself the actual genuine like 2 to 5 minutes to get it up. And then even when I got it up, it was only for as long as it was super excited. Not excited, but super excited. I'd have to see like Chris Rock said, bro, that stuff will mess you up. It'll literally have you looking for an Asian chick who can speak Spanish, bro. Like, what? It'll literally have you just typing in stuff that you would never see in real life unless you just so happen to have that experience, that once in 1 in 100,000 experience, quite literally. So that kind of stuff can make you spoiled. And what the thing that we don't think about when people are spoiled, it means that they also lack something. Because when a fruit spoils, it is no longer of value. If you're spoiled, you are no longer of value. That's why we say spoiled. Like you get everything you want, but in return for getting everything you want, you're actually missing out on something you need. That's real life. So, I mean, shoot, that is crazy because I'm over here talking about this. Like, I'm supposed to be saying 5 things, right? To stay away from, 5 reasons to stay away from porn, right? And I'll get into it right now. I just had to reply to that comment because I thought it was that important, bro. Honest to God. Um, shoot, I'm starting to think maybe I should just chop this up and get it to another video. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But hey, it's okay. We'll get another video when we get another video, bro. So let's just start with number 1, right? It's an energy drainer. Now, I was talking about the whole energy thing, but there's obviously more than just one form of energy. But the energy that is inside of your under region pretty much directly correlates with your daily energy as a man. As a man, if you don't have a lot down there, like if you're not stockpiling and just building up your energy, then your regular overall energy for the day will be low. So let's just say you do that stuff in the morning as soon as you wake up, right? You feel that energy leaving your body. You physically feel the fact that you are now going to perform less for the rest of the day. There is no question about that. It is from every man because that energy under your region is directly related to everything else. That's why when you take like zinc, if you ever take zinc supplements, you kind of get supercharged quickly. Now, quickly, what is that? Basically, within the next day, whenever you wake up the next day, you'll just realize that you pretty much build that nether region energy at a faster rate than without zinc. Zinc is very important. Obviously, there's a lot of other important, things and stuff, but that's just what I'm talking about right now. So, long story short, it is an energy drainer because when you release that, I just say it like this: if you finish and release that, you will literally be losing 10% of your overall energy for the day. And it might be as much as 25%, honestly. Because, man, I will tell you right now, I, I did go to work one day. And before that, like way before that, when I woke up, I pretty much just did that, released. And then they had this incentive at work to where they would give you extra money if you did so much work. And I started and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this incentive. And then after like the first step one, basically, I was like, I'm good, bro. I already know I don't got it in me. I literally don't got it in me. Not just mentally, but physically. The energy, I don't got it, bro. I'm not even gonna do this. I'm not even gonna try. Because the threshold that I have to reach to actually get that incentive, which is extra money, is just something that is beyond me right now. I'm not strong enough. That's literally what happened. It was unfortunate, and I even told myself, I was like, yeah, definitely shouldn't have messed with that corn. And that's just how it is. So it's just another lesson learned, but um it's crazy. That's just how it is. It's just crazy, honestly. But let's just get to number two, bro. You create a bad pattern, and there's no way around that. Watch that corn. It's a literal complete waste of time to watch it. Period. Now, there are some times where you really just feel like, let's just say that you actually do the whole no fap thing, right? And you just really go hard for the whole week, and you don't do nothing. Just say you have an off day, right? You might fold because I've experienced it, bro. Like, I've not done the whole no fat for like 30 days and stuff. I never did that, I'm not gonna lie. But I have done it for like 10 days, bro. That stuff, you start feeling excessively primal. You either wanna fuck so bad or just release it. You just want it out because you start feeling like an animal. You start feeling like an animal, bro. You're like, well, first female that even looks at me, that even gives me that smile, the first one that even says hello and initiates something, or maybe you'll just initiate. You'll just be like, I gotta get it. I gotta do it. Or if you're not the kind of person who even approaches females, you might just be like, or not, it doesn't even matter. You could be the kind of person who just be like, I know I will get a female pregnant today. Like, if I were to get a female right now, I would get her pregnant. If you go home and you watch that corn to get rid of that excess energy, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I can't blame you for that. But you should still just deal with it. It's either struggle now or struggle later. And I'm the kind of guy financially who's unfortunately struggling later. So I'm trying to just put this struggle into perspective right now. But that's a little besides the point. Just understand your difficulty. But what I'm trying to say about number two is that it does create a bad pattern. Because there is no world, at least in this world, there is no way that watching that stuff is going to be a good pattern. Because it's genuinely just a definitive waste of time. It's an action that doesn't allow you to care about what you're doing. Because if you care about what you're doing, you'd be doing something else. But that's just honest to God. And there are, studies that show that holding in your sexual energy actually gives you more and higher creativity. So you can actually create better and more unique things if you hold that energy within you. So instead of being like, I need to release, just literally be like, what can I do with my time that is better than corn? So that's number two, bro. Long story short, there is no pattern where corn is involved, and it's a good one. If you create a pattern of corn, of watching it, of consuming it, there is nothing good in the end of that. Even if you are on that no fap and you're primal, Like, don't even mess with that. That's literally just draining all your creativity down the drain. And then you can just do something better than that. You know, you can go outside. You can literally play some football. You can, I mean, I don't play football, bro. I would never play football. So let me not even say that. Football is a very dangerous sport. I'm not interested. But you can play basketball. You can do whatever you want to do. As long as it's just better to do anything else. I think you get the point. So let's just move on to number 3, right? So it takes time away from important duties, right? So that pretty much just goes into what I was just saying. It's just a waste of time. It's literally just a waste of time. There's nothing good about it. So it takes time away from important duties. And the reason I say that is because it's kind of one of those things that you can easily just ignore your responsibilities if you mess with it. And the reason for that is because you're enjoying yourself so much that you will legitimately just say, well, whatever I was going to do in the future, I'm not doing it. Now, obviously, not everyone's like that, but I'm not going to lie, I have been that kind of person. So I'm admitting it. I have been that kind of person who legitimately know that I have something to do at 2, but since I'm already looking at this stuff at 1:30, hey man, the future is now. That doesn't even make sense. That's some Pokemon reference. The future is now thanks to science. And it's, I forget his name. Doesn't really matter though. You can literally waste your time and dodge something that you should be doing. So let's say that, you know, you wanted to make, okay, just say like me, I wanted to make a video and I didn't because I'm over here watching corn. That's pretty cheesy, right? So that's literally a good example right then and right there. That is not what you want to do. That is just not the way. That's something that's an important responsibility. You know, that's just not what we're trying to do. So it's a time waster, and there's almost anything else in the world that you can do is better than watching corn. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, don't waste your time, dog. Like literally, even if you're playing a video game, like not doing anything that's else that is important, even if you were to play a video game, it's literally better for the simple fact that you're not releasing your energy. You're not releasing your creativity down the drain. That's what I'm trying to say. And then there's another thing about this, but I think it's going to be number 4. So number 4, yeah, you'll fall behind indefinitely. That kind of just goes into the whole wasting time. So I'm not about to sit here and like explain that. I mean, I kind of already did. That's why. But number 5, man. So number 4 and 3 are the same. We're not even going to count that. So the real number 4 is that it gives you unrealistic expectations, bro. Because let's be honest, no one's looking for an ugly female to release your energy to. And if you can have the option to look at what you want to look at and search who you want to search, you're going to go for the finest not role model, but the finest model looking female out there. If you know, like 10 out of 10s, right? So you're going to do that. I got one in mind right now. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say her name. But long story short, that is just something that you're going to do. So in real life, now I will say, back when I hope this isn't like weird to say, but no, back in my day when I was younger, I would see the adult females and, you know, I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but I have seen, you know, pretty unattractive females. And obviously they still exist, but the science behind whatever females are doing to their bodies, like going to the gym and doing those lunges and going to the gym and doing squats and doing those leg curls, whatever they're doing, female. And then also like the whole mewing thing, I hate that word so much, but it's basically like, so there's this way that you can get a good jawline. I think it's mewing, but on top of it, if you literally just, whenever you're not talking, and don't be a mouth breather, but whenever you're not talking, just have your mouth closed and have your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. And by doing that alone, your facial structure will look better. It literally will just look better. So basically what I'm trying to say is being a mouth breather can literally make you ugly. And what I'm also saying as an extension of that is that females have basically cracked the code to looking good on a regular, consistent basis. There are a lot more fine looking females these days than there are of unattractive females. So what I'm saying is, back in the day, I seen ugly chicks, you know, and today I see some ugly chicks still, but there's a whole lot less and a whole lot less attractive and more attractive looking females. But I say all that to say this, that watching corn will give you an unrealistic expectation of what you want out of a female, right? So if you're the kind of guy who likes curvy females, they're out there, that's for sure. And there's a lot more now than before, and you can actually realistically get with one. But watching that porn will have you looking for like the perfect facial feature, the perfect amount of hip measurements, and the bust size. It'll legitimately have you wanting like a very precise female, when that's not what love is about. Now, obviously, that is a lie a little bit. Love is about that, but it's not the main and only thing. And when it comes down to love, that's a whole different story. Making love and being in love is two completely different things. So, watching that stuff can even make it hard for you to fall in love, because you don't even have enough of the energy in your nether region to even have the primary part of being in love with a female, because you just don't have the energy that you need to feel that, you know? So, man, that's going to be number 4, though, bro. It's just unrealistic expectations are bad. It's like if you were to go to work for McDonald's and you're expecting to get $100,000 a year as a fry cook, and it's like, whoa, brother, slow it down. Slow it down. What is your reputation? What is your certifications? And have you ever flipped a burger? And even if so, sir, this is the Wendy's. But yeah, that's how that goes, right? And then the true number 5, which is probably the most dangerous thing ever, honestly. And I've heard a lot of people say this, but this is why, I mean, really and truly, let me just say it. It's a gateway drug, bro. That's why I say the whole Chris Rock thing that he said earlier. He said corn will have you basically saying, oh yeah, I want an Asian chick speaking Spanish. And it's just like, okay, bro. But honestly, let's be real. That's not really what I mean when it comes to gateway drugs. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you watch too much porn, it is something that can get you in some bad stuff, okay? Or just stuff that you're not really liking. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is literally, let's say that you're straight. Out of nowhere, you're gay. You know, it could legitimately be like that. It's just like YouTube when it comes to recommended, bro. It could genuinely just be, oh, you're watching one regular video, and then the next video could be like, well, let's throw him a curveball. You know what I mean? And that stuff, ain't gonna lie, bro. When I was a kid, when I was literally 12 years old, bro, I was on the hub. I was on the hub, and I was watching the regular stuff. And then I seen in one of the related searches, it was literally the first time I have ever seen a trans person. Was literally the first time when I was 12 years old watching a regular corn video. And in a related, it showed this girl and she had junk and she had the member of a male. And I'm just like, why am I seeing this? Well, first thing first, that wasn't even really the question. The real question was, that is a thing? Does this exist? And I've never seen that before, bro. Mind you, the first time I ever seen a naked woman is when I was 11. So from the age of 11 and then to the age of 12, I have already seen both sides of the spectrum. That's crazy. At that young of an age too, that way back in the day, that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm trying to say is that gateway drug is real, bro. It's like people say that weed is a gateway drug. And I'm just gonna say it is. And the only reason it is because basically anything's a gateway drug if you want to put that kind of, thinking into something else. But what I'm trying to say is like weed, gateway drug. So basically, you're saying if you ever smoke weed, you're more likely to do heroin. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. Let's be honest, kind of crazy, but I understand where they're coming from. And what I mean by that is that if you do weed, right, you're going to be around people who also smoke weed. And there are people who don't do any drugs or drink anything. So the fact that you're even with a crowd of people who all people have touched weed before in that crew. Now there's going to be someone in that crew who's going to be doing more than weed, literally, because now you're already around people that you don't know just because you want weed, right? And now all those people smoke weed, and there's going to be one person who does more than that, and then there's going to be one dude who does shrooms. You know what I mean? And shrooms aren't even bad, but it's more extreme than weed. So in that sense of you're not just messing with weed anymore. Now you're doing shrooms, okay? But honestly, let's be honest. It's really usually not shrooms. It's usually crack. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but it in all my experience, whenever it's either weed or crack, okay? Or LSD. So that whole gateway drug is real because let me tell you a story about how me and my brother were, at my friend's house and we were all smoking weed and I went to sleep. I was just tired. I fell out. And, we all smoked and drank over there. And apparently while I was asleep, one of the homies offered my brother crack. And the only reason he told me that he didn't do it was because I was there and he knew that I told him I would fuck him up if he ever did crack. I'm just gonna say it like that. I really told him that, and that's because that's what my dad told me. I was like, I care about you to that point, and if my dad would literally like threaten me like that over some stuff, it has to be real shit, and it was. So I'm glad that he didn't do it. But long story short, weed is a gateway drug, and so is corn. You're gonna get to something that you shouldn't be messing with, or not even just shouldn't, something that you weren't even looking for. You know what I mean? You weren't even looking for it, but yet, lo and behold, here it is. So, yeah, bro, that's number 5. Um, that's it, guys. That's it. I just wanted to get this video out eventually, but I've been around the way. I've been doing stuff, and hey, man, honestly, I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you very much for showing up, and man, I think that's it, guys. This is a long video, man, and it was a long time coming, but here we are. So there's the reasons to stay away from it, man. That guy who commented on my last video really prompted me to make this for real, like its own topic, because I was like, man, I can't believe you feel like that, man. Like, I really hope you're good in life, and if you're not, man, I highly, highly, highly recommend you to just leave that corn alone. It's no good for you, bro. It's really not. I'm sure it can get you to take the edge off. For some people, it is a necessary thing for in their mind because some people have anger issues, and when they are at their normal state of mind, bro, that primal stuff is real. That primal stuff is real. And you leave it alone, especially if you're the kind of guy who's like always empty. You have no reserves because you're always messing with the corn, and then you just get all your energy back. You don't know what to do, bro. It's primal. But it's honestly worth it in the long run. But man, that's it, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys for being here as usual. Thank you so much. And man, if you guys don't mind, pray for my homie Amerx Games because I know you all, if you guys haven't watched this video, his dad isn't doing too well. And he has a fundraiser on his channel as well. And if you guys could give anything, do that if you can, if you want to. But I appreciate you guys. And it looks like I'm getting a call. So with that being said, you guys have a great one. All right. Peace out.